at a classified base known as S4 out in the Nevada desert near Area 51. And there, we reverse engineered alien spacecraft.
In a long-awaited revelation, Bob Lazar, a controversial figure in UFO lore, has broken his silence on the recent surge in UFO sightings. With a background shrouded in mystery and claims of having worked on extraterrestrial technology, Lazar's insights are highly anticipated.
There's a nuclear test site, there's Area 51, there's areas where they test chemical weapons and things like that.
The resurgence of interest in unidentified aerial phenomena has reignited debates about the existence of extraterrestrial life. So join us as we explore how Bob Lazar finally breaks silence on recent UFO sightings, unraveling the covert hub of extraterrestrial technology. In the late 1980s, Bob Lazar came forward with statements that created a significant impact in the UFO community and beyond. Lazar claimed to have worked at a secretive government facility called S4, located near Area 51 in Nevada, where he was involved in reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. Lazar's initial statements were quite extraordinary. He talked about 9 different spacecraft that he asserted were of extraterrestrial origin, essentially flying saucers. One of these crafts, referred to as the Sport model, supposedly ran on a reactor powered by an element unknown to the public at that time, element 115. According to Lazar, element 115 could generate anti-gravity effects, allowing the spacecraft to perform maneuvers defying conventional physics. Adding complexity to his claims, Lazar discussed how work at S4 was compartmentalized, with teams working independently on specific projects. This secrecy was designed to prevent a complete understanding of the operations. Lazar's narratives brought a level of structure and specificity to UFO accounts that were often missing. He not only claimed to have seen UFOs, but also asserted that he had worked on them, providing technical details, specific locations, and even a timeline of events. His revelations tapped into the public's growing desire for transparency regarding what many believed were long-held government secrets about extraterrestrial encounters. However, Lazar's declarations were met with skepticism. Critics pointed out inconsistencies in his narrative, including issues with his educational background and doubts about the existence of certain places he mentioned. The physics community in particular questioned the feasibility of using element 115 for interstellar travel, given the understanding of its properties at that time. Despite the criticisms, Lazar achieved something remarkable. He revitalized the UFO discourse, introducing new terms like Area 51 and Element 115 into public conversations. These became focal points that even those unfamiliar with the topic could grasp. Prior to Lazar's claim, Area 51 was a relatively unknown military base. However, after his revelations, it became closely associated with alien folklore. This sparked the interest of curious onlookers, journalists, and UFO enthusiasts who ventured as close as they dared, hoping to catch a glimpse of the otherworldly. Lazar's whistleblowing not only brought attention to Area 51, but also positioned him as a champion of truth. Many saw him as someone risking his well-being to expose potentially world-changing information. The image of a lone individual standing against a monolithic entity like the government resonated with those who had grown wary of official narratives over time. Despite the subsequent dissection, debates, and occasional derision of Lazar's story, its impact was undeniable. It laid the groundwork and set the stage for a plethora of whistleblowers who, in the years that followed, came forward with their tales of secret government projects and encounters with the unknown. The landscape of UFO discourse underwent an irrevocable change, no longer confined to shadowy tales and blurry photographs. It had found a voice, and for many, that voice was Bob Lazar. In the expansive and secretive area near Groom Lake, Nevada, the S4 facility, as described by Bob Lazar, represents a mystery and source of disagreement. According to Lazar, this hidden installation, situated close to the more widely known Area 51, served as a center for covert activities related to extraterrestrial technologies. Lazar depicted S4 as a facility dedicated not only to scientific exploration, but also to the strict preservation of secrecy. In his account, S4 housed 9 distinct flying saucers, each with unique designs and functionalities. Contrary to being merely for display or storage, Lazar asserted that these saucers were operational. He detailed how they were stored in hangar bays cleverly camouflaged into the mountainside. ensuring concealment from both ground and aerial observation. If Lazar's claims were accurate, it suggested that the individuals or entities behind S4 had intentions beyond just reverse engineering these crafts. There were indications of potential testing and deployment, adding another layer to the enigma surrounding S4. Element 115 and the alien propulsion. Among the various revelations linked to S4, one particularly captivating detail involved the introduction of Element 115 into discussions surrounding unidentified flying objects. According to Lazar, this previously undiscovered element played a crucial role in the propulsion systems of extraterrestrial crafts. He contended that when harnessed correctly, Element 115 could generate a gravitational field utilized by these spacecraft for propulsion. This, Lazar suggested, explained the seemingly impossible maneuvers performed by these crafts, defying the known principles of physics. Lazar explained that Element 115, as he described it, was not naturally found on Earth. Instead, batches of this element were reportedly provided to the facility for experimental purposes. In his account, the element was employed in a reactor within the spacecraft to generate a gravity wave. This wave was then amplified to facilitate propulsion, allowing the craft to lift off and move at high speeds with exceptional agility. What made this account intriguing was the unconventional nature of the craft's movement. Rather than employing traditional propulsion, the craft supposedly manipulated gravity to essentially pull its destination towards it, fundamentally redefining our understanding of motion. Discussions regarding S4 and Element 115 extended beyond UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists, reaching into popular culture and scientific circles. Lazar's detailed descriptions sparked both fascination and skepticism. For some, S4 represented a secretive stronghold where significant discoveries were unfolding. Others considered it a fictional construct, woven from partial truths and imagination. Lazar's claims had monumental implications. If true, they suggested that the US government or a concealed faction possessed technology centuries, if not millennia, ahead of current human understanding. It proposed the idea that humanity wasn't alone in the universe, and that earthly governments held tangible artifacts from beyond our world. Yet, the specifics of Lazar's account, including the intricacies of alien crafts, the properties and applications of Element 115, and the inner workings of S4, became points of contention. While some fervently believed in Lazar's narrative, others dismissed it as fabrication. Regardless of one's stance in the debate, discussions about S4 and Element 115 added new dimensions to conversations about extraterrestrial life and technology. They raised questions not only about what might exist in the cosmos, but also about the lengths earthly powers would go to keep such discoveries under wraps. Lazar's narrative, intertwined with the enigmatic S4 and perplexing Element 115, ushered in a new era of curiosity, hope, and skepticism in the quest for extraterrestrial truth. Any assertion, particularly of the scale presented by Bob Lazar, naturally attracts scrutiny. The bolder the claim, the more rigorous the investigation it undergoes. Lazar's statements regarding S4, extraterrestrial crafts, and Element 115 were no exception. Over time, various criticisms and counterclaims arose, challenging the accuracy of Lazar's story. One notable criticism focused on Lazar's background. When researchers and journalists attempted to verify Lazar's academic credentials at MIT and Caltech, no records of his attendance were found. Lazar insisted he studied at both institutions, but discrepancies in his claimed education emerged. Some of Lazar's supporters suggested that his records may have been purposely erased or altered to discredit him, fueling a narrative of a broader cover-up. However, skeptics argued that erasing all traces of someone's educational history, including memories of classmates and professors, would be an improbable task. Another contentious point was the existence of S4. While Area 51 is recognized as a real military base, there is no conclusive evidence supporting S4's existence as described by Lazar. Satellite imagery of the alleged location failed to definitively show the hangar bays or facilities mentioned by Lazar. Critics maintained that if Lazar had truly worked at such a location, providing specific coordinates or irrefutable evidence should have been well within his capabilities. The physics community also expressed reservations, particularly regarding Lazar's claims about the role of Element 115 in propulsion. Lazar's descriptions of manipulating gravity using Element 115 seemed to contradict established laws of physics. When Moscovium, the official name for element 115, was synthesized and studied. Its properties did not align with Lazar's descriptions. The element's instability and short half-life appeared to rule out its use as a powerful energy source for propulsion. How Bob Lazar's story transformed UFO discourse. Additionally, Lazar's explanation of how extraterrestrial crafts operate, specifically in generating gravity waves, faced skepticism. Many physicists pointed out that Lazar's description lacked the depth and precision expected from someone with advanced training in physics. The concept of gravity waves was unfamiliar and contradicted the established scientific understanding of element 115. Additionally, the synthesized moscovium did not match Lazar's description. Some suggested that the natural stable isotope Lazar referred to may not have been discovered yet or was being kept confidential. They argued that our understanding of elements and isotopes is continually evolving, and what seems improbable now might become accepted knowledge in the future. Many believed that Lazar's willingness to come forward, despite the potential personal and professional consequences, added credibility to his claims. They thought that an individual would not willingly endure such scrutiny and backlash unless genuinely convinced of the truth. The debate surrounding Bob Lazar's revelations mirrors the broader discourse on UFOs and extraterrestrial life. On one side are skeptics demanding empirical evidence and verifiable facts, while on the other side are believers often driven by a combination of evidence, intuition, and a deep-seated feeling that we are not alone in the universe. Somewhere in the middle are those open to possibilities, waiting for irrefutable evidence that could tip the balance. Lazar's narrative, filled with both compelling details and perplexing inconsistencies, will likely remain a controversial chapter in the history of UFOs. In an era where information travels rapidly and stories can be molded with each tweet, blog post, or television special, the media played a crucial role in bringing Bob Lazar's narrative to global attention. While Lazar's tales of extraterrestrial craft and secretive government bases were captivating on their own, it was the media's amplification that moved his claims from the fringes to mainstream discourse. Lazar's initial exposure to the public was orchestrated by investigative journalist George Knapp, a reputable figure known for thorough journalism. Knapp's televised interviews with Lazar provided legitimacy to his claims, creating a dynamic that appealed to the average viewer with intriguing and accessible content. The visual medium, combining sound, imagery, and narrative, was well suited to explore the mysterious and otherworldly aspects of Lazar's story. Lazar's descriptions of the S4 facility, alien crafts, and element 115 mechanisms were enhanced with reconstructions, animations, and expert analyses. This storytelling and visualization blend made the complex and abstract aspects tangible, allowing viewers to journey into the heart of the enigma. Documentaries further amplified Lazar's narrative, delving deeper into the subject matter by juxtaposing his claims with expert opinions, archival footage, and on-site investigations. These documentaries also introduced a diverse range of perspectives, from staunch skeptics to fervent believers, enriching the understanding of the Lazar phenomenon. With the advent of the internet, the discourse surrounding Lazar's story became democratized. Online forums, blogs, and social media platforms facilitated discussions, debates, and dissections of every aspect of Lazar's narrative. This collective hive mind, unrestricted by geography or institutional constraints, occasionally unearthed details or connections overlooked by traditional media. YouTube channels and podcasts that focus on UFO research frequently featured Lazar's story. Some provided new perspectives or information, while others attempted to disprove his claims through careful analysis. Some presented supporting accounts or evidence that strengthened his narrative. However, it's undeniable that without media involvement, Lazar's story might have remained obscure within a niche community. Instead, it became a global phenomenon, a key element in UFO lore, sparking curiosity, fueling debates, and inspiring a new generation to gaze at the stars with wonder, pondering the timeless question of whether we are truly alone. The media's role in shaping the collective consciousness through the Bob Lazar narrative demonstrates its significant influence. This underscores how storytelling, when amplified by technology and broadcast to a wide audience, can profoundly impact our perception of reality, our beliefs, and our position in the universe. The scientific mirage of element 115. The field of science, characterized by its rigorous adherence to evidence-based inquiry, often faces challenges when dealing with claims that venture into the speculative or the unverifiable. Bob Lazar's assertions, especially those regarding element 115 and its alleged properties have been subject to scrutiny within this framework. Element 115, as described by Lazar, played a central role in his narrative. He suggested that this element served as the foundation for the propulsion systems of the extraterrestrial craft he claimed to have worked on. According to Lazar, when properly utilized, element 115 could create a gravitational field, enabling spacecraft to manipulate spacetime and achieve interstellar travel. However, when the scientific community began to investigate these claims, several issues arose. Firstly, the very existence of element 115, as described by Lazar during his initial revelations, was not documented in the periodic table. It was only in 2003 that scientists managed to synthesize element 115, naming it moscovium. The properties of moscovium, as determined through laboratory observations, sharply contradicted Lazar's descriptions. The synthesized element displayed a high level of instability, with a half-life measured in milliseconds, meaning it rapidly decayed into other elements within a fraction of a second. This rapid decay made it improbable as a stable energy source, let alone one capable of powering interstellar spacecraft. Lazar's description of the capabilities of element 115 to manipulate gravity has sparked interest in the physics community. Gravity, one of the fundamental forces of nature, is notoriously difficult to control despite extensive research. Our understanding of gravity is limited, and the notion that an external substance like element 115 could manipulate gravitational fields challenges established knowledge. It's essential to recognize that science is inherently open to discoveries. Throughout the history of scientific inquiry, once dismissed theories have been validated through subsequent research. However, the burden of proof lies with the claimant. For Lazar's assertions to gain scientific credibility,
Unique element, when it's exposed to radiation, it produces its own gravitational field.
they must be supported by empirical evidence, reproducible experiments, or verifiable observations. Currently, Lazar's claims about the miraculous properties of element 115 remain anecdotal. Critics have pointed out the lack of peer-reviewed publications or collaborative verification related to Lazar's statements. Science thrives on collaboration, debate, and peer review, where groundbreaking discoveries are rigorously examined before acceptance. Lazar's bypassing of these protocols raises doubts about the validity of his statements. While the allure of Lazar's narrative is undeniable, the bridge between belief and scientific acceptance relies on empirical evidence. As of now, that bridge remains incomplete. The intriguing story of element 115 and its extraordinary properties awaits validation or refutation through the unwavering lens of scientific inquiry, not through anecdotes or assertions. Government acknowledgments amid Lazar's claims. When allegations concerning state secrets, classified projects, or covert operations arise, the global focus inevitably shifts toward the government for clarification, denial, or confirmation. Bob Lazar's claims, which directly implicated secret military bases and advanced technology, were no exception. Both official and unofficial responses from various government agencies shed light on the complex interplay between statecraft, secrecy, and the pursuit of truth. Initially, there was a noticeable absence of acknowledgement from government channels regarding Lazar's allegations. This silence, though anticipated, fueled further speculation among believers who interpreted it as evidence of a deeper conspiracy or an implicit admission that Lazar's claims were valid. However, skeptics viewed this silence as the government's unwillingness to dignify baseless allegations with a response. Official government stances began to surface indirectly when inquiries were made about Lazar's alleged employment at Area 51 or the elusive S4. No records were found, and his claims of academic credentials from prestigious institutions like MIT and Caltech were denied by these institutions. For some, these denials reinforced the belief in a cover-up, suggesting that Lazar's records were intentionally expunged, while others questioned the overall truthfulness of Lazar's narrative. As the Lazar saga unfolded, more direct government responses emerged. The U.S. Air Force, responsible for the Nevada test and training range where Area 51 is located, maintained its tight-lipped approach regarding the facility's operations. They reiterated that discussions of specific operations and projects at Area 51 were classified and not for public disclosure, a standard protocol that only fueled speculation. Unofficial responses, often more candid and sometimes off the record, provided a slightly different perspective. Some former employees and contractors associated with Area 51, while not directly corroborating Lazar's claims, hinted at the existence of highly classified and advanced projects at the facility. Their testimony suggested a culture of extreme secrecy and compartmentalization, where even individuals working at the site might not be fully aware of all ongoing projects. In 2013, a significant moment occurred when the CIA officially acknowledged the existence of Area 51. This recognition, long avoided by the agency, was documented in a declassified report on the U-2 spy plane program. It's important to note that this acknowledgement did not lend credibility to claims made by Lazar.
Unique element, when it's exposed to radiation, it produces its own gravitational field.
Regarding extraterrestrial technologies. Despite various responses from the government, including denials, acknowledgments, and silences, obtaining a clear understanding of the situation remains challenging. Lazar's assertions fluctuate between being considered plausible and met with skepticism. Government responses to these claims contribute layers of complexity to the overall narrative. Whether interpreted as standard procedure, intentional confusion, or genuine disclosure, these reactions serve as a reminder of the intricate dynamics between government secrecy.
It's time for this country to take back our country. We need to tell the folks at the Pentagon.
Public curiosity, and the pursuit of truth in a time marked by mysteries. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Bob Lazar finally breaks silence on recent UFO sightings. He asserted that he was employed at a confidential government facility named S4, situated close to Area 51 in Nevada. His role primarily involved the examination and understanding of advanced technology believed to be of extraterrestrial origin. Initially, Lazar made remarkable statements, discussing 9 distinct spacecraft, which he claimed were essentially flying saucers. The personal consequences for Lazar deciding to reveal claims that challenge established narratives, especially those related to national security, can have significant personal challenges. Bob Lazar's choice to share his experiences at Area 51 and the subsequent events highlight the complexities of being a whistleblower in a field filled with skepticism, intrigue, and potential danger. Immediately after revealing his identity, Lazar faced intense public scrutiny. Every aspect of his life, from academic credentials and professional background to personal relationships and financial standing, underwent a thorough examination. This scrutiny was not only a result of public curiosity, but also due to Lazar's repeated claims of threats and attempts to erase official records of his existence. He spoke of being followed, monitored, and intimidated. Though these assertions were difficult to independently verify, let us know what you think in the comments below. The human toll of UFO revelations. Lazar's relationships suffered from the fallout of his revelations. The strain of being a central figure in a highly debated UFO story impacted his family life, leading to strained and even fractured relationships under the pressure of public attention. Trust became a scarce commodity, and isolation, whether self-imposed or circumstantial, became a recurring theme in his life. Professionally, Lazar faced challenges as well. His academic credentials were questioned, and his claims drew skepticism from mainstream scientific and engineering communities. Traditional employment opportunities within his field became limited. Despite these challenges, Lazar adapted to his new reality by venturing into scientific supply businesses, capitalizing on his newfound fame and the increased interest in exotic materials and technologies. However, the shadow of his Area 51 claims persisted, always serving as a backdrop to any professional endeavors he pursued. Financially, the journey had its ups and downs, presenting a series of challenges and opportunities for Lazar. While his story opened doors for paid interviews, documentary deals, and speaking engagements, it also brought legal battles, business challenges, and the expense of maintaining security and privacy. Lazar's financial situation, much like other aspects of his life post-revelation, became a fluctuating balance of gains and losses.
And this is kind of when the most stressful part started.
The psychological impact of being in the midst of such a tumultuous situation should not be underestimated. Despite Lazar's outwardly calm and matter-of-fact demeanor in public appearances, there is speculation about the inner turmoil, second-guessing, and moments of doubt he may have faced. Holding on to a narrative, especially one that is strongly contested, would test the resilience of any individual. Another notable aspect of Lazar's post-revelation journey was his gradual withdrawal from the public eye. Following the initial surge of interviews, documentaries, and public appearances, Lazar increasingly chose to live a more private and secluded life. While he never changed his stance on his claims, he appeared less inclined to actively promote them in the public arena. Instead, he opted for a quieter existence, away from the constant attention of both believers and skeptics. Bob Lazar's life after disclosing his claims about Area 51 and extraterrestrial technology presents a meaningful story highlighting the challenges and consequences of making extraordinary claims. But that's not all. In another surprising disclosure that captivated global attention, former American intelligence official David Grush unveiled a covert program orchestrated by the U.S. government over several decades during a congressional hearing in Washington. The program, veiled in secrecy, aimed to gather and analyze crashed UFOs. What made this revelation noteworthy was the revelation of non-human entities, bringing the issue of extraterrestrial life to the forefront on a global scale. Grush, once a leader in analyzing UAPs, made these claims under oath, adding a solemn tone to the gravity of his words. He had previously filed a whistleblower complaint in 2020, too, alleging that a shadowy curtain separated him from covert UFO programs holding profound mysteries about aliens and their technology. The repercussions of this disclosure were felt globally, capturing the attention of a wide audience and sparking intense speculation about the United States possibly possessing evidence of alien life and advanced extraterrestrial technology. However, skepticism prevailed, considering the earth-shattering nature of the revelation, whistleblower fallout, and the UFO controversy. Just like Bob Lazar, Grush faced severe consequences for his bold claims, describing the backlash as very brutal and detailing its impact on his professional and personal life. He revealed knowledge of individuals harmed during efforts to conceal UFO information and expressed genuine fears for his life. Despite the risks, Grush hoped his actions would lead to increased transparency. The congressional hearing featured Tim Burchett, a Republican congressman, making startling claims about the U.S. possessing technology defying the laws of physics and alien spacecraft capable of transforming humans into charcoal briquettes. Burchett accused government agencies, the intelligence community, and the Pentagon of obstructing the Oversight Committee's investigation, adding a layer of intrigue to the proceedings. Grush claimed the U.S. had acquired extraterrestrial life forms and asserted that some crashed UFO recoveries included biological entities, not humans. He hinted at non-human activities dating back to the 1930s. However, during his testimony, Grush was more guarded, leaving some mysteries unresolved. In earlier interviews, he mentioned colossal alien spacecraft and a peculiar bell-like craft from 1933, but specifics were withheld during the hearing due to security concerns. Journalist and historian Garrett Graff noticed Grush's cautious approach and highlighted the enigmatic nature of the situation. Despite accusations of stonewalling by federal officials, Burchett, after the hearing, endorsed Grush's claims about non-human entities, emphasizing the need for occupants to fly such spacecraft. The Pentagon firmly rejected Grush's claims, with a Department of Defense spokesperson stating there was no solid evidence supporting the concealment of extraterrestrial material programs. The hearing also featured compelling witnesses like David Fravor, a former Navy commander, and Ryan Graves, a retired Navy pilot, who shared astonishing accounts of encountering unidentified aerial phenomena. The electrifying proceedings, with their mix of revelations and skepticism, added layers of intrigue to the ongoing debate about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the U.S. government's involvement in concealing it. As the media frenzy surrounding David Grush's revelations about extraterrestrial encounters unfolds, cautionary voices emerge. Grush himself, despite being a key whistleblower, admits he hasn't personally witnessed the alleged alien craft. His claims are based on extensive conversations with high-ranking intelligence officials, adding an element of uncertainty. Skeptics note that similar stories of government UFO cover-ups have surfaced since the 1970s and 1980s, without concrete leaks or documentary evidence ever emerging. The government's track record in safeguarding vital secrets raises doubts about its ability to maintain profound silence. The scientific community, fascinated yet frustrated, grapples with the lack of hard, irrefutable data. While the bombshell revelations have ignited curiosity, scientists emphasize the need for more substantial evidence beyond tantalizing speculation. The recent hearings by the House Oversight Committee, though captivating, leave believers and skeptics pondering the mysteries beyond Earth. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's proposed legislation to force the Pentagon to disclose information about encounters with non-human intelligence marks a pivotal moment in history. However, scientists caution that the plural of anecdote isn't data, emphasizing the elusive nature of the claims. David Kipping, an astrophysicist, expresses excitement and frustration, noting that Grush's claims rest on leaked Pentagon videos and eyewitness tales, which have grabbed Congress and the Defense Department's attention for years. The New York Times uncovered a secret Pentagon UFO tracking program in 2017, and the Pentagon itself released videos of UAP in 2020. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence's 2021 report highlighted peculiar flight behaviors of UAPs, stressing natural explanations. A 2023 follow-up pointed out over 170 cases requiring further investigation. Kipping acknowledges something strange is going on, but stresses the need for rigorous scientific scrutiny. Melissa Finucane, a sociologist, questions the motivations, qualifications, and potential biases of those sharing information. Transparency and independence in sources are crucial for credibility. David Spergel, an astrophysicist at NASA, emphasizes the lack of concrete data, while Avi Loeb, a Harvard astronomer, sees sharing any extraterrestrial objects as essential for scientific integrity. However, Loeb acknowledges the possibility that Grush might be mistaken or misled, cautioning against jumping to conclusions. Scientific challenges arise from the lack of specific locations or sites, making claims based on reports challenging to verify. Loeb also notes the potential political nature of withholding information for national security advantage. The thorough scientific approach. Despite Grush's credibility, scientists see scientific challenges akin to anecdotes or isolated reports. Witnessing unidentified flying objects poses challenges, as humans tend to explain strange events based on what they know. The complexity of the situation, coupled with the potential for misinformation or hidden motives, underscores the need for a cautious and thorough approach to evaluating these extraordinary claims. In his analysis, Kipping emphasizes that even without extraterrestrial involvement, pilots and individuals are bound to encounter mysterious phenomena sporadically. Some report these oddities, and a few remain unexplained. The challenge lies in determining the frequency of these anomalous phenomena and how often they defy explanation. Without a clear baseline, it's challenging to assess the significance of leaked Pentagon videos. If these sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena occur infrequently, their recent surge becomes intriguing.
About UFOs.
Identifications are as common as genuine sightings. It could be a series of honest mistakes. The 2021 Pentagon report faced a similar dilemma, having data but lacking definitive answers due to the absence of a comprehensive data set. To address this, various groups are working on compiling records. Spergel's team suggests NASA invest in precise and testable UAP data collection for reliability. Meanwhile, institutions are intensifying efforts in extraterrestrial-related data collection, from innovative monitoring programs to space archaeology and the U.S.'s interstellar research mission. This data could eventually lead to meaningful conclusions about UAP and the potential existence of aliens. Regarding Grush's claims of intact spacecraft in government possession, Columbia's astronomer Kipping finds plausibility. He suggests that if intelligent alien life exists, the current critical challenges facing Earth, such as nuclear disarmament and climate change, make it an enticing time for extraterrestrial scientists to visit. Kipping points out that Earth-bound scientists are planning a probe to the nearest solar system in the Breakthrough Starshot initiative, exploring the habitability of a rocky, Earth-like planet. However, he acknowledges the limitations of telescopes in searching for alien life, as remotely viewing a distant planet's surface requires a telescope so massive that its light reflection might be detectable. Kipping believes the current era, with Earth undergoing significant challenges, is the most interesting period in its history for potential extraterrestrial observation. This aligns with the Breakthrough Starshot initiative, emphasizing that if intelligent beings were to study Earth during this unique phase, sending a spacecraft would be the most viable option. The quest for understanding UAP and the potential existence of alien life involves a captivating blend of science, curiosity, and the necessity for comprehensive data amid a period of great cosmic exploration. Thank you for watching. See you in the next update.